Welcome, hosts Dustin, and Anna.
We are back for a new month, a new theme, and it's bloody February time. We're ready to drench you guys in some ooey gooey sticky goodness, and I think this first movie we're kicking the month off with is a prime example of categories or of films that fall under all of those categories. And it is X from 2022. Very excited to talk about this, but we could not do it alone. I was thinking of guests. This is the pick I brought to the month, and I was like, I've got to get my fellow degenerate on the show. It's Pete from Good Beer Bad Movie Night and Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies.
Degenerate, ouch, man.
Yeah.
Actually,
hey, I say that with love.
I embrace that wholeheartedly. I deserve that.
I do too. That's why I said it.
Degenerate. I don't know the meaning of the word.
It's my favorite clip.
Dustin, I bet you don't know the meanings of lots of words.
Oh.
All right, where is the mute button already?
He's starting off spicy.
Woo,
but no,
listen.
my favorite degenerate clip is of Snooki and Ronnie, and they're having like a 2-day bender, and it's the next morning, like they've stayed up all night and they are sloshed, and they go in the confessional where the cameras are, and Snooki goes, "Hey, the degenerates are here," and Ronnie's just like spaced out. Look, that's me and Pete when we show up to review a movie like X.
I couldn't do it without you, Anna. You and me are peas in a pod without ever being in the
peas
pod,
in a pod.
if you know what I mean?
I know, yeah. We're peas outside the pod.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You were one of the best decisions that we've ever made on Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies. And these guys poached you as well, so they clearly know. They clearly see.
Wow.
They got the jump first.
Anna's great.
Yeah.
Anna's amazing. Everything that you bring, like a lot of the creativity, I feel like over the last like month and a half has really been you spearheading a lot of stuff. And Pete, it's great having you over here. We're slowly getting towards the rest of the crew over there. We've had Charlie on multiple times. Now it's your first time.
He's such a whore. I mean, he just bends over for anybody that asks him to come on a show, and he'll just do it.
He's always available.
I was very selective. Anna said X. I'm like, yes, please. If she would have said something else, like, maybe not.
Yeah, he might have to think about it.
I think about it.
Yeah, the next up, we got to get Nate on. It's got to be something.
Oh, good luck with that. Yeah,
he's in the mood for. What kind of mood is he in?
Yeah,
that week?
We'll do Street Fighter over here. How about that? Fucking Nate.
I might do it. Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
The Guyver. We'll do the Guyver over here.
And we'll stick it only on Patreon.
There you go. That way only no one but the patrons can hear it.
You guys do Guyver.
Listen?
We'll do Guyver 2, and then we'll just have this big collab. How about that?
There we go.
No.
No.
Big old live stream. All right, Anna. Why don't we get over to the Rotten Tomatoes for this movie, huh?
Yes, let's do it. So this came out 3 years ago.
God,
I think almost like right at 3. I want to say it came out in March of 2022. It's got 228 critic reviews. So we'll start with Pete. What do you think the critics rated X?
95.
Okay.
I think they liked it. This movie was well received by all. I'm pretty sure it got a really good 90, probably plus 95, but I'm just going to stick with 95.
Okay. Big D?
I'm going to say 87.
Okay. Lil D?
Well, a lot of people who have listened to the show know I love Ty West. Mm-hmm. I love him. I think he's a genius with what he does with his writing. So with me saying that, I also know there's a lot of people who don't like Ty West.
Right,
so I'm going to go a little bit lower than all of you, and I'm going to go around like 68%.
No, really?
Man, Pete, you just about got it right on the money. It's sitting at 94%.
Wow.
That's good, though. That's really good. I'm glad.
Without going over, I still would have lost.
I'm just saying.
By Price is Right rules.
I'm saying Price is Right rules, Pete would lose.
I would still lose.
$1, Bob.
$1, Bob. Okay, with 500 plus, over 500 audience reviews. Pete, what do you think the audience rated X?
Oh, still on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go 98.
Okay. Big D?
I'm going to say 92. 92, not 90 as well.
Okay.
It's not 90. Also 90 as in a 9 and a 2. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Correct.
One more than 91.
Well, D?
Fair.
I'm probably gonna stick in the same ballpark. I'll go a little bit lower, like 88%.
Okay. Well, you guys all lost because it is sitting at 76%.
Okay, so that was a lower score.
Wow.
I should have known the audience would have went lower.
The audience
That surprises me.
was way lower. Critics liked it and audience didn't. Wow.
Yeah.
It's Ty West. He's one of those directors, that like a lot of people either really like his work. Like House of the Devil is like one of my favorite movies.
It's
And
a good one.
awesome. And obviously like the Innkeepers, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
The Sacrament really fucked with me. Like there's one
I haven't
scene.
seen that one. Yeah.
Oh man, Pete, it's good.
Yeah.
There's one scene in it that, man, I still think of it and it gives me goosebumps because the actors just sold it. It was believable, in a movie that all of it's great, but that one particular one, man, has just stuck with me.
Yeah, I think my favorite Ty West, I love The Innkeepers. Like that one,
Innkeepers
that's
is
a
great.
spooky ass fucking movie. And
Especially that ending, dude.
Yeah, with the build all the way up, dude. It's really good. And every time I recommend it, it's either people really liked it or people really hated it. So
That's what I'm saying.
it's
How
good. It's very
polarizing.
polarized. Yeah,
I kind of love that a director can get this emotion out of just his audience. Like it's almost as if you praise this movie, if you lament it at the same time, it feels like you're succeeding no matter what you're doing. Like, because like there's so many people that love and hate it at the same time. I think you're winning. I think you're doing exactly what you should do. You should elicit some sort of primal feelings towards the film. And how cool is that you're able to do it on both sides? I don't know.
Very true.
yeah.
Very true. And that's one thing I like about Ty West too, is that, in being an independent filmmaker, he's kind of become a master of doing a lot with very little. Like he might not have a big budget, but that doesn't matter.
So how big was the X budget? It didn't look like there's some very good gore, but that was very simple gore as well. So what kind of a budget were we looking at here?
It's also A24.
Also, yeah, right. You're doubling down on that. They are independent film.
So the budget. So listen to this. The budget was only $1 million.
That's so impressive.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a single location movie, just about,
Right.
and the cast
there's
is
no
very...
sets. You didn't build any sets. This was clearly a farmhouse, and there was a lake back there, so they did everything on site, so they didn't have to build anything.
Yeah, the cast is very minimal. I bet you they used the cameras that they rented in this movie as like the camera that's carried around that we see.
You're not wrong.
Oh, probably.
So,
side note, another thing that, he was part of this movie, but he didn't like write it. But Ty West, I thought he did a great job in You're Next. As the actor. Everybody was guessing he's in that, but that movie's bonkers too. If you haven't seen You're Next,
who is he in that?
He plays somebody who's at the dinner. He comes in like later in the movie. He's like a friend or something, but he's in the movie.
Okay, I got that written down.
And Babs is in it too.
Oh, Babs! Yeah, I have that movie.
Babs Crampton?
Sneak peek for everyone. That is the letter Y over on the Flicks and Friends podcast for the AB season. Is Your Next?
Nice.
Oh yeah,
very nice.
So
did any of you guys get to see this in theaters?
Yes, ma'am.
I did too.
I am ashamed to say I missed this in the theaters.
I don't think Pete would be allowed in the theaters with this movie playing.
Hey,
this was a first time watch for me.
Oh my gosh!
just like this week.
Like
I know, like
this episode.
Him and Charlie
we done
both.
him dirty, Anna. We done him dirty too.
Him and Charlie both had never seen this, which just drives me bonkers.
Well, Charlie, that's Charlie's MO. I mean, he's like, I don't watch modern movies. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't mind modern movies,
but Dustin, I'm shocked.
But there's two reasons why I have avoided this series.
All right, bring it on. I want to hear it.
I know what they are.
And Anna, I went in open-minded, I promise. I'm not going to shit all over this movie. But A24 is my least favorite studio making anything right now. Like, they've done me so wrong, and people are like, these movies are so fucking good, they're scary. Talk to Me was not good.
I wasn't a fan of that either.
You know, a lot of people are shitting all over Y2K.
I haven't seen it yet.
There's this.
I liked it.
There's this series, and I feel like this series is only succeeding because of my second reason, which is Mia Goth. I know, Pete. I can't. There's nothing. I do not agree with what Nate said about her being a human pug.
Nate needs a punch in the face.
All I'm saying is I just can't stare at her for long amount of times because I just can't stand looking at her.
Just because you're not traditionally beautiful doesn't mean you're fucking sexy as hell.
I'm not saying that either. Like, I'm not saying she's ugly. That's not coming out of my mouth.
That's kind of what I'm hearing here.
What I'm saying is I just can't stand to look. It's the same deal. I can't stand Winona Ryder. But it's because of The Crucible.
That's interesting.
Have you seen The Crucible, Pete, with Daniel Day-Lewis?
I'm going to write that one down too.
She plays the lady that's accusing everyone of being a witch. And the way she is in that movie makes me just not stand her. I can't stand her. And it's an unfortunate thing, but Mia Goth is just another thing that really turned me off of this franchise.
Is it her voice, her little soft-spoken voice?
Get out of here.
I'm a fucking star.
I don't know, man. But
the whole world's gonna know my name.
The fuck they are.
That is really spot on. My goodness gracious.
But so I do have a lot to say about the movie. I'm not gonna shit all over because there are things that I really did like.
Sure, I want to hear them.
We're gonna get to them, I guess. But yeah, this was a first time watch for me. Probably a last time watch too. So.
That's
I just cannot believe it.
Sorry.
This is not a bad movie.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't think I need to revisit it.
You like what you like. I'm not going to hold that against you.
I'm here. I already said a bunch of times, I'm not here to shit all over this movie.
Yeah.
Because there are things I liked.
The marketing for this too, before it even came out, everybody was like, "Oh, this is like a modern Texas Chainsaw Massacre." And the reason why they were saying that was because of the grainy camera and it being
the setting
outside and everything. And like, even like when I went to go see it in the theater, and I was like thinking, I'm like, how are the critics already who have seen this movie saying that this is like a modern Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I know
it's
why.
Not.
I know why. Because critics are stupid.
It's also
critics
set in Texas.
It's also like them in the van driving to the farmhouse. That's literally a shot for shot.
Just because there are a couple of little callbacks to TCM, they're like, "Oh, this is Texas Chainsaw." No, don't let it stand on its own.
Literally,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, critics are.
Well, I think the critics that critiqued this movie did get to see it at like South by Southwest. I think that's
right.
Where
it won down there, didn't it?
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, like I said, it's not a bad movie, but being critiqued from a film festival, who knows how long ago, long before the release date of it was. So they had nothing to compare it to, because a lot of movies like to do that now. They're like a modern take on Pumpkinhead with some witchcraft, stuff like that, or a modern take on Texas Chainsaw. Like, let it be its own thing.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is a lot of people who review movies now always have to compare it to something else.
Because I think that's what draws people to the cinema. But
that's the tagline.
You're also
for
trying to describe to people who haven't seen it already. So now I'm defending the goddamn critics, for heaven's sakes. So they, as writers, you need to describe it as something, and if you don't have anything to put it up against, you're going to take the lowest hanging fruit, which would be TCM.
It's the lazy tactic is what that is.
It is lazy, you're right, but you also need to speak to your audience, who is also very lazy, and they don't know all of cinema, and these people might be going like, "Oh, this has a lot of Last House on the Left sort of feel to it," or "Hills Have Eyes," but
The Hills Have Thighs.
That's a different
The hell's
movie.
that, Fries?
That's from
seen it.
Chopping Mall. Go check
With
out
the
our
oil.
Yeah, go check out the Chopping Mall episode on Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies. We talk all about that.
Clearly, this is a promo for the other podcast.
and this was a good seller too, as far as the trailer's concerned, with not giving a whole lot away, because I was seeing reports about it feeling like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Boogie Nights. So then I watched the trailer, and it didn't give a whole lot away. It showed mostly like shots of the adult film they're making, The Farmer's Daughters, in this, and then it was like a couple of shots of screams, and the film kind of flapping. It felt grainy, and the song Fog Hat, I Just Want to Make Love to You, was playing on the trailer, and it was just enough for me to be like, okay, this is going to be kind of sexy and probably gross. And but we didn't, like, I went into this and had no fucking idea that it was going to be the old woman and her husband that's that's the slasher. They're the killers in the slasher movie, which was totally surprising, and really I feel like kind of flipped that trope on its card a little bit, because it's not Leatherface, it's an old woman and her husband. So I really felt like the trailer did a good job of not giving a whole lot away, and just doing enough to make it interesting to where we're intrigued.
Definitely.
And that's where you guys have it benefited you guys, because me watching it now, knowing there's a trilogy out, that there's something to do with Mia Goth's character.
Well, there's this, Ann and I have listened to this podcast. It's no longer around, but it's Mick Garris Postmortem. He had Ty West on, I think, a year before this came out, and he was
great show.
He was talking to him, and he was like, "What are you planning?" I was like, "Well, I'm sort of kind of working on a trilogy right now." So, like, if you were listening to that, you would have been like, "Oh fuck, what is he doing?" And he was kind of like talking about how he wants to do it, but he didn't name any studios, obviously, because I don't think A24 was even like a thought at that point or anything. But like, he was like hinting at like, yeah, I'm working on something real big right now. It's going to be based around like this one character essentially, and it's going to be a trilogy. I've always wanted to do a trilogy, so here we are. He did a trilogy, and some of them are better than others in the trilogy, but we'll get to those maybe another day.
Yeah, but he also talked about filming Pearl at the same time, and how he had hoped to make a trilogy. We would just have to see what happened. And I do feel like out of the three, Maxine is the worst. There's things about it to like, but I just feel like it ended up being kind of forced.
I hate saying that it's the worst.
It's same. Yeah,
not the best, and that's just being nice. It's it lacked the intensity of the first, the character building of the second, and it just felt like it was forced. You're right, Anna. It felt forced, that like we gotta make this a trilogy now, and I don't know, it felt a little flat for me.
Well,
I'm sure A24 probably had something to do with that too. Like, okay, we know the money's coming in. You said you want to do a trilogy, do it, and we'll give you some pointers.
Well, he was smart in making the sequel a prequel. That's kind of like giving its footing. But now, me knowing now that what the events that happen in X are going to directly reflect what's going to happen in Maxine, because she's the only one that's filmed on this film that isn't there at this crime scene. So they already have her name, because they say it a lot in this the movie they're making,
Maxine.
So they already have that to go off of. I understand, and then I get why this Maxine is a procedural cop movie at that point. Like, there's not much.
You're right.
There's not much horror. There's not much horror in it, right?
Hold on.
It's Dustin. More of a giallo.
Did you watch the other two films before this one?
Like
I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any. I just know about them.
Okay.
I will say, me personally, I love X. I love this movie.
Yes.
But Pearl, I feel like Pearl's great. I love Pearl.
It's so very different though, and that was a stark contrast. Excuse me. When I first saw Pearl, I'm like, whoa, this is not the same movie at all whatsoever, and I am down to clown. This is really, the madness that this woman descends into by the end of the film, and it's Pearl is wonderful, but it's such a stark contrast to X that I was hoping that Maxine would be a third level up or down of another direction of horror, and I don't think it made it. It did not stick the landing.
Sure. And I guess the last thing I'll say about it is in Maxine or in X, she only kills one person, and that's the old lady, right? Like that's the only person that Mia Goth herself kills.
Yeah, she kills herself.
She kills that old lady.
But yes, she does.
in the cop's eyes, with her not there, everything is going to be pinned on her. Correct?
I think so.
Like it all. Like that's just me
She's
thinking
the only witness.
You just have to watch it.
Okay. I'll watch it when we cover it. How about that?
Okay.
Well, I'll save it for a genuine experience. I'll save it.
And also, like, I don't really know. To me, I feel like A24 started with X, but I don't really know. Obviously, they were around before X came out, but for me, I feel like that's when they kind of really took off. It was movies like X that kind of...
Well, they've had some hits. I mean, wasn't The Invisible Woman or The Invisible Man...
That was Blumhouse.
That was Blumhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I would have to look it up, and I'm not.
A24's first theatrical release was A Glimpse Inside the Mind of Charles Swan. In 2013.
I have no idea what the fuck that is. Oh, wow, way back.
Yeah, 2013.
It's only 10 years ago, little D.
So
it's way back, man.
No,
I'm gonna look up A24's catalog because
No, they've definitely done like some stuff. Like they had the Green Knight, I think, came out. That movie was pretty cool.
A24 has these much like Blumhouse has these sneaky hits that funds their next 12 movies.
Sure, and you know what their biggest one was? Everything, A24? Everywhere, All at Once.
A24.
Yeah,
that movie is a fucking classic. I love that movie.
Oscar-winning movie.
Yes,
phenomenal.
That's what I'm saying.
If you
guys haven't seen Men, it is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen.
It's rough.
I hated Men.
The ending of that movie, like, what the fuck is going on?
I felt that way the whole movie. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was dumb.
I wanted to be on that side, and I'm like, I don't get it.
What did I say the other night in Slack? A24 looks like they enjoy IPAs.
Fuck you, Dustin.
Pete, I don't want to chew my beer, okay? I'd rather drink it. IPAs are fucking disgusting.
IPA.
Yeah, UPA. Is that an Indian Pale Ale?
Indian Pale Ale. I could tell you the entire story behind the IPA, but
you don't have to. It's okay.
You don't give a shit.
I don't. So, anyways, back to X. I want to talk about the things. Let's talk about some of the kills, man. Anna, like, do you have? What's your favorite one?
So, man, it's got to be the RJ kill, just because. So, seeing this in the movie theater, like that moment for me was like my jaw hit the floor. I wasn't expecting it. I was just kind of along for the ride at that point, and I had just come from like a real low before that with Brittany Snow singing the Fleetwood Mac Landslide cover, because I don't know, like my mom had just passed away the July. Yeah, she's such a good singer. My mom had passed away the July before that. And my mom was like, I don't know, she always struggled with kind of getting older and not really feeling young and beautiful anymore. So when she's singing that Landslide song and it's doing the shots of the young kids and they're young and beautiful and making this porn, and then we've got Pearl who's done her makeup and brushed her hair and tried to look beautiful for her husband, but he physically is unable to have sex with her anymore, not because he doesn't want to, but because of his age and his health problems, his heart. And Ty West just does such a good job of showing the parallels of these people are killers, and we we were obviously not on their side, but then we see this and it's really, I don't know, it really tugs at you. At least it did for me, because I saw the parallels with that and my mom, and I'm crying in the movie theater, like just having a moment, right? In this horror movie, which is crazy to think, that happened during X. But then not too long after that, like, man, she just takes that knife and jabs it in his neck, and then the Don't Fear the Reaper like the whole scene is great. Like the music just starts elevating, and it just builds and builds and builds, and she stabs the shit out of him. Like stabs him until everything is drenched in blood. The camera's drenched in blood. She starts singing, doing these ballerina moves, or not singing, but she starts dancing to this old classical song, and it's gross but oddly beautiful in a lot of ways too. But yeah, that moment of, okay, shit's finally kicking off, which is, there's a lot of foreshadowing in this too, in the script, which, kudos to Ty West again for being great. But just like they talked about earlier, well, you can't change the movie. The movie can't just flip halfway through. And that's exactly what happens. The first half of this is a porn.
Pretty sexy. It's pretty porny. And all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, you get a brutal kill. Like,
And here comes the slasher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny though.
I love it. Well done, Anna. Yeah, that's beautiful.
I texted the group because when Brittany Snow started singing, my immediate response was, I thought she had nodes. And I thought it's a Pitch Perfect joke. Like, that's why she doesn't participate anymore in that.
Oh, okay. It didn't click.
She goes, I have nodes. And everyone's like,
oh yeah, I remember now. See, I like her first big role that kind of put her on the map was for this show that came on NBC back in the day called American Dreams, and it was like during the American Bandstand era, and she was a young teenager who was trying to get on Bandstand, and it just was like a family drama kind of thing set in that era. But she was the lead character on it, and I remember, like, that was my show when I was a kid, like teenager growing up. So I've been watching her, it feels like, my whole life, really.
I think my favorite movie with her in it is Would You Rather?
Jay Combs. Man, that movie is crazy. Have you seen that, Pete?
Jay Combs in Would You Rather? No, I haven't seen it.
Dude, it's good.
I shit on A24 a lot, but I love IFC a lot. Like, IFC is so good.
I grew up watching IFC on TV all the time. And they had their own channel.
Yeah, they still do.
Yeah. But Would You Rather, Brittany Snow, and that is awesome. But
She's great.
I also texted the group because the kid RJ that Ann is talking about, I'm like, is this fucking Eric from Evil Dead? Because he straight up looks like that asshole that read the Necronomicon after it saying do not read. I was like, you know what? You deserve this.
Red tape on it saying, please do not read me. And he's like, I'll read it.
Yeah. You know what, Anna? Fuck Eric. Okay.
Fuck Eric. He's the worst.
D, what about you, man?
Dude, I as we're talking, I'm thinking, because like there are good kills in here. But it's a toss up between, oh God, I fucking forget his name. Like the producer of the film, the one that gets his fucking eyes gouged
Wayne.
out.
I love Wayne.
Walking around in a pedo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, I want to say it's that one. Even though I like the one that you just talked about, Anna. That one's great. And I think that's like a big highlight of this film. But like this idiot just walking around, be like, oh, I'm gonna go into a barn, stubs his toe, or gets like
he steps on the nail.
Oh my! That was.
And he was like, "What the fuck?" He's doing that. And then
this close to throwing up. So fucking close to throwing up.
I messaged Anna when that happened, and I'm like, "No, I can't. This is worse than eye horror because that shit."
Well, you get both of it.
We get but not like slow eye horror, right?
Yeah, we're not getting Bava levels.
Right.
Yeah.
But does that whole scene of him doing that, and he's going over and he's like calling out. And being like, oh, Church Mouse, is that you? And going over to like the door, and it's like, what kind of fucking dumbass is going to be like, oh, they're outside here, and they're like, oh, there's little holes. I'm going to look in these holes and just go back and forth. And then he just goes, oh, and then stink. Oh, it's so fucking funny.
It's like
It's
that.
so funny.
It's like
I
the
love
opening scene
Wayne.
from Scream 2 when he puts his ear up against the bathroom stall.
Oh yeah, and it's
and the penis comes through.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, that was a
Scary movie.
Scary movie. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, nails make me throw up, man. Like I got so close to just like, all right, I can't. I have to take a break because it's so fucking gross. Stepping on nails.
He even said like, I'm gonna get tetanus from this. I'm like, yes, you are, sir.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah, he did a Home Alone there, man.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Pete,
God.
what's your favorite kill in this?
There were a lot of. I'm not sure if there were jump scares in this, but there were some gasps that I had. One of them was when Pearl took that knife out and just started stabbing the fuck out of RJ.
RJ.
Oh, thank
RJ.
you. I wasn't ready for that because up until that point, like we've already said, it was a porn. And we've seen boobs, and we've seen screwing, and we've seen all sorts of
all of
super
Kid
fun
Cudi.
stuff. All
Yep,
of
yep.
all,
Good silhouette of Kid Cudi.
Yeah, let me go hold the door for you.
The dong is just swanging.
That's what I'm saying.
it's delightful. I'm sad it was just a silhouette. I wanted to see the whole package. Apparently, he and Jenna Ortega went out drinking the night before she had her basement scene, and she was hung over like a banshee for that because they went on a bar hop the night before.
Wasn't she like 12 in this?
No, she was an adult woman, you dingus.
Oh, okay.
Even though she plays Wednesday, a teenage girl,
Yeah.
years after. So there were a lot of gasps for me, like legitimate. Like I wasn't scared, but I'm like, oh shit, they done killed that guy. And the one that hit me was Kid Cudi when
Oh yeah.
he's out there helping the old man look for his wife, and he turns around and says, "Man, I can't find her. We're both ex-army, or he was ex-marine, he was ex-army, or something like that." So they have this soldier bond, and he just lowers a shotgun and shoots him in the middle of the damn chest. The reason that's my favorite is because it was just completely out of left field.
Yeah.
He's helping you find your wife. Maybe you know where your wife is already, and you just lowered a shotgun and just ripped his heart out. It was amazing. I was not expecting. You can telegraph some kills here and there, but that one was, and it happened so fast. Even though he's a Marine, he lowers that gun so fast, and it wasn't even like zip. It was just like, just lowers it, pulls the trigger, guy's dead. It was so very real, and I loved it.
Very intimate.
Yeah. As intimate as gunplay can get, because I think gunplay is ridiculous. Like bang, 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 people die, whatever. Knives, machetes, that close up intimate kills. That's I don't want to say sexy, but that's a kill that legitimately scares me. And that gun at that point in time was pretty much a knife. And he pulled the trigger up close. You could smell his breath when he pulled that trigger. And that's what made it really, really frightening and surprising.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is he's seen how much Kid Cudi was packing. So he had to say, hey, here's my shotgun. How about that?
He's like, my shotgun's bigger than your shotgun. My shotgun's bigger than. And they're like, okay, get out the ruler.
We got to talk about the alligator in the room, though.
That was gonna be. That's mine.
I didn't hear
Really?
Dustin's favorite kill. So that's your favorite kill, Dustin?
I love the setup of this kill because
it's great.
At this point, we've all kind of touched on different aspects and genres of horror when it comes to their kills, right? Sure. This one is 100% pulled from a creature feature, Lake Placid, all that bullshit. You see
piranha,
alligator. Dude. Yeah, you see Mia Goth out in the fucking out in the lake. One, She jumps in that lake not knowing what's in there.
See, that's why I don't do water stuff, man.
I live in Florida. I can tell you where the alligators are. If you walk down to the lake and touch it and it's wet, that's where they are. Okay, that's where the fucking alligators are.
There's nothing in Ohio that will kill you in a freshwater lake. Period. There's nothing that will do that.
That's good to know.
Except a rock on the bottom that you might hit your head on.
Yeah. Oof. But dude, when she's laying there, she's watching the falcons fly around, and then it pans over to the other side. You see that alligator snout come up. One, the alligator wouldn't let itself be known like that if it's coming towards you. It's an underwater attacker, like it's a silent assassin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then it grabs you when you don't know. But dude, when you get the tension that builds, and she's swimming back to the dock, and you see that alligator behind her just swimming, you're like, fuck. Yep. Yeah, how fast is she gonna swim?
And of course, she's just like hanging there.
She's relaxing. She's tired. She's tired from hanging out.
That's the best thing. Yeah.
Then she gets out just in time for that alligator to just turn around. Yeah, I've seen too much of her. But Brittany Snow goes out there, and she's looking for everyone. And I'm pretty sure, like, she gets pushed in, right? Like.
Yeah.
She gets like slapped and then
she gets
Pearl pushes her in
because she hates blondes.
I hate blondes.
I hate blondes.
I get
it. My god, dude! And she's sitting there splashing around, and out of nowhere, whap! That fucking alligator grabs her.
Chomp.
And nothing's scarier because you know, living in Florida, you read and see all these stories about people who they're out there fishing, they're out there doing something, and when a gator grabs onto you. You're drowned before you're eaten. That's how they get you. Like, it's more suffering than anything until they do the death roll. When they do that death roll, whatever limb they're holding onto is not yours anymore. Does not matter. You know what I mean? You know, and seeing all of that happen to Brittany Snow, and like just the franticness of her, you know, screaming and the blood, and then it's done. I'm like, yep, that's actual it's footage in front of my face of what it actually
accurate
happens.
Face of death.
Damn.
Yeah.
Scary as fuck because those are dinosaurs. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they've adapted. They survived since the BC era, dude. And just knowing that we won't know they attack until it's happened.
Wouldn't it be the BBC era?
Yeah, before Kid Cudi. Yeah. But that's it, man. Like, I loved that kill a lot. There are a lot of kills that I liked in this movie, but there's also a lot of comedy parts I really like, dude, because when RJ is sitting there like getting all this film, you know, you got Kid Cudi pumping gas. Brittany Snow goes, well, if you look down at him like that, it would look like he's pumping gas from his cock.
Yeah.
And he just stands up and does it. He goes, oh.
And then he leans his head back like he's getting a blowjob. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's so good.
The part that got me, though, the part that broke me is right after the first initial scene with Brittany Snow and Kid Cudi in the bedroom. And Wayne brings RJ out into the fucking hallway. He goes, what you're doing is cinema. What we're doing right now is making a movie. And he's like, I know. He goes, feel how hard my cock is right now. Dude, and then RJ just reaches down and cups him. I'm like,
no, he grabs his hand and pulls it to him.
Oh, I thought RJ did it himself.
No,
okay.
No, RJ, RJ
but he didn't pull it away.
Encouraged.
That's what RJ was like.
Yep.
But he didn't pull it away. Dude. Oh,
I love Wayne. Wayne,
you might as well take a cup of feel.
See what he's got packed.
See what's going on.
Wayne is my favorite source of entertainment in this movie.
I swear to God, that was
McConaughey.
Yeah,
I felt McConaughey right there, dude. Sure. He goes.
But,
yeah.
Anna, what were you saying?
He's just a businessman. He's tired of like working blue collar jobs. Mm-hmm. He wants to do something that's going to stick and he's going to make some money, which is why they're going to film this porn. And that he obviously knows Bobby Lynn, Brittany Snow's character. Like they've all worked together for some time. And this isn't the first time she's experienced one of his ideas. And it's when she's like, well, I don't know, Wayne, that's what you said about the topless car wash. Do you remember that? And he's like, yeah. And if the IRS didn't have a personal goddamn vendetta against me, that would have panned out beautifully.
Is Wayne the DJ at the strip club, maybe? He's the
owner. I think he's the owner. Yeah.
Was he the owner of the strip club?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I want to bring this up real quick because you just brought up the topless car wash during the pandemic, like a real life event in our world. I live maybe 30 minutes away from a place called Rachel's.
Oh,
it's a 5-star steakhouse.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong. 5-star steakhouse, but we pass it going like to my mom's and stuff. But during COVID, working women had to get their money. So what they did is they built like a black tunnel outside in a drive-through.
Hilarious.
And they delivered steaks in this drive-through. So I thought it was funny that I had never seen this movie. This movie's as old as the pandemic, so it's not a copied idea. Like I feel like Rachel's copied this, you know what I mean? Just hearing the idea of that shit happening, but that really did happen. Because I used to drive by it all the time to go to work and my mom's and shit. So I thought that was pretty fucking funny.
No, hold on. It was a topless steakhouse, topless 5-star steakhouse.
Yeah. The steakhouse is 5 stars. There's a dinner. They have menus
to sell their steaks.
Well, it's the best steaks in town, Pete.
Clearly.
I don't know. But yeah, it's called Rachel's Steakhouse, dude. It's not a strip club. You know.
There's one scene that cracked me up, and this is all the way at the end of the movie, and like I guess it could happen in real life depending on how powerful your gun is. But it's when Maxine and Pearl are
mono.
And yeah, literally. And her gun's not working, and so she takes a shotgun and she shoots it and she goes flying back. I was cracking up, dude.
Little old frail old grandma.
You know why Mia Goth's gun wasn't working, right? Because they talk about that because the old Jebediah comes out there with his double barrel, and he goes,
Howard,
yeah.
It's just for show.
Howard. He comes out there, he goes, yeah, it's just intimidation. And then Wayne goes, yeah, I have the same thing in my fucking glove box.
Yes.
So her gun's not loaded either. But Pete, you will know better than anyone here. That's not how dodging shotguns works. You can't just jump out of the way of something that scatter shots.
Yeah, if it's buckshot,
you're getting hit. It doesn't matter how fucking far you jump.
That's not really a bullet coming out of the end of that gun. It is a whole bunch of stones, basically.
Pellets, dude. Yeah. You're picking something out of your skin if you still have the skin. But like Dustin was saying, man, that when she did that, I laughed because you see fucking Pearl just out behind, dude. Out the fucking front door is good shit.
And I love how like the husband he has a heart attack right there while dragging what I forget her actual name, but they call it Church Mouse, and she goes,
Lorraine,
and he's like,
that's what gave him the heart attack. Like
it was kind of sad because the whole movie, like, can your heart take? Because Pearl wants the wood. She wants some.
She's fucking horny.
She's horny. She wants her husband's accoutrements, so to speak.
She wants his Kid Cudi.
And he finally gives it to her, and they do it, and it's great. The two of them have a wonderful time, and then he dies of a heart attack because of Jenna. Was it Ortega or was it?
Yeah, Jenna Ortega.
Her name's Lorraine.
And
right. all of the deaths are foreshadowed in this too.
They are.
Which her death is foreshadowed earlier on because
tell me about these. I didn't catch that.
Oh.
So Lorraine, which is Jenna Ortega's character, whenever Wayne is walking around looking, which he does drop another quote that I like whenever he's outside talking to RJ, and then he's like, because I have, because you have not been 47, but I have been 23. Like he's saying, like, I've been where you're at. You need to listen to some of my advice. But it's when he's going out to the barn, right? Yeah, it's when he's out in the barn right before he steps on the nail, and he's like, 2 keys to keeping a lasting relationship. Whatever the first one is, and the second one is never mention her weight. Right before she gasps and he's dragging her, he says, she's heavier than she looks. And then right after that, she gasps and kills him. Jackson, which is Kid Cudi, he mentions when they first get to the farm that he's done some tours in Vietnam and he's had enough farmers pointing shotgun guns at him for a lifetime.
Okay.
Right before Wayne has RJ grab his cock, he goes, people's eyes are going to pop out of their damn skulls when they see this.
And
that's right. There is a lot of foreshadowing.
Okay.
And then also at the very beginning, when they walk out of out of the strip club, there's a mural. It looks like Brittany Snow with an alligator tugging at her dress.
Okay.
Ty West is a fucking genius.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, he is.
He's that. This is all subtle bullshit, but it has a lot of forethought behind the script and everything. It's so much fun,
and it's not
rewatchability. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's not in your face, like punching you in the face with like context, or it's exactly like you said. It's you want to go back and rewatch it because this is a movie where it does warrant multiple watches because of all the fun stuff. Like I didn't catch the alligator. I watched it the second time after it came out on streaming, and I saw that, and I was like, Ty West, you sneaky fucker. And it's still I'll still notice stuff. Like there's so many little subtle details. Like the guy that's hanging in the basement, his picture's on the back of that milk carton when Jackson goes to drink it.
They've shown that a couple of times, I think.
Yep.
When he's
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of good moments in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's another thing is.
Hey kids, ask your folks about pictures on milk cartons.
The gas
station. The gas station.
Oh,
exactly.
Gas station. Yeah.
All the details there. All older branding and stuff like that. Logos.
Yeah, and then they get that fucking log of bologna, which is disgusting. Disgusting, dude. That's so
but it was cheap, and it was cheap, and it fed a lot of people.
Exactly. No, white bread, mayonnaise, bologna. There you go. But we see it more than once, and there's like a televised broadcast of this pastor just spitting all these fucking facts about
Southern gospel.
That's Baptist.
Yeah,
and
Southern Baptist. Yeah.
And when we get that stinger at the end that we learn that this pastor that's been on this TV this whole time is Mia Goth's father.
Yep.
Man, I'm like, wow, that's a good stinger.
Just
tie
it all in.
He Ty Wested it all in, yeah. But the only thing that just me nitpicking at it is that was really high def for a 60s TV. You know what I mean? Like it's really it was very crisp, Pete. That was very crisp.
Maybe I was
but maybe. But we were talking a little bit about the camaraderie that this group already has, and that's what I also really liked the couch scene, like when they're all sitting there talking about work.
Love and sex.
What's the difference? Like what is the difference? And like Jenna Ortega's trying to understand, like why? Like I don't get it. And then when they explain it to her, like Mia Goth does, and then Wayne does, and and she's like, okay, I want to be part of this fucking movie. And when RJ flips out about that shit, dude, and it led right into what Anna was talking about. One of her favorite quotes is Wayne takes him out there and slaps him around. He's like, look, you don't let her do it, she's gonna fucking do it anyways.
Yeah, and with other people.
Yeah.
You don't know how many other people she's going to do it, so let her do it.
It's Lorraine's fault. This whole movie is Lorraine's fault, because if she had never done that, then RJ would not have stormed off the way he did. They wouldn't have been separated like that, because that's really was the catalyst that kicked everything off.
Anna.
Lorraine fucked everything up. And no, I'm sorry. Like she makes a good point. Like I get that this is something now she's been awakened and she's seen this and she wants to try it now. But this is also like somewhere you're coming from that like you and your partner have never really been before.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
neither
No
one of you
communication.
are in this kind of business at all. You're filmmakers, if anything, like you're
Sure.
students, you know. So this is something that would have needed to have been talked about in private, not publicly announced in front of a group of people who are going to be like, yeah, sure, be sex positive. It's just work. You want to try something, but you love him. I'm all for it, which that's fine too if you have that way of thinking. But Wayne and Maxine and Jackson and Bobby Lynn all were in that kind of relationship together, just like even Wayne said. It's just business as long as the camera's running. They had this kind of understanding.
And they fucking high five each other.
Yeah.
the men had an understanding and they were okay with their women being that way, and vice versa. RJ and Lorraine were not in that situation.
Nope.
So the fact that Lorraine was totally fine and acceptable for feeling the way she felt, but I don't think she should have just jumped into something because of that, of feeling that moment like okay, this is something I want to try. Let's do it. Because then you're going to fall asleep, wake up and your boyfriend's not there and you're going to realize, I think I really hurt him, which is what she tells Wayne. Yeah. Well, no shit, you really hurt him. Like he just had to see his girlfriend fuck somebody else. That's what it all boils down to. He had to film it. Exactly. Which makes it even worse.
I would have thrown up. If I was in that like situation, I would have literally thrown up. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I'd like someone else needs to use this fucking camera, dude.
You know, trading spouses sounds sexy, and it's not.
It's
not, unless everybody is 100% enthusiastically invested in the act. Great.
Exactly.
And I support all of that. However, you don't just expose that side thought in a group of friends, like you said, Anna.
Not even friends. They're business partners. They're not even friends.
Business partners, right?
They're not even acquainted with them.
You're
making cinema
fair to the relationship. Now, is it not fair to you? I don't know. Let's talk about this. Let's you and me as partners talk about this first, rather than you springing it on me. Because Wayne was right in saying, like, she's going to do it whether you want her to or not. Man,
and that's fine, but at the same time, she has to be prepared for the fact that, okay, if this is something she really wants to do and she's not willing to budge on it, then she's going to have to understand and accept the fact that, well, RJ might not be okay with that, and that means the end of your relationship.
She really didn't think
she just decided everything for them right then and there, and RJ didn't even have time to think because he was just, let's pick the camera up and go to work. And then you think afterwards, like, man, I really kind of fucked up. Because she probably is thinking about how guilty she feels for
sure.
This isn't who she really is. It's something she just felt inspired by in that moment and wanted to try. And now she's feeling guilty because she slept with somebody she doesn't even really know, like we said.
I wonder if RJ was in front of her only partner.
Exactly. And RJ had to film it.
Yeah.
So had Lorraine not done that, they would have all been in the same cabin, and it would have reverted. It would have reverted back to Pearl and Howard. Remember Howard at the beginning saying, "I don't remember you saying you're bringing all these people," because it wasn't supposed to be that many people. It was supposed to be just whatever Wayne told them, one or two. So they could. So old people could handle it. So then, had it went the way I just said, then the movie doesn't happen, because then there's 6 young scrappy adults in a cabin who's going to take on 2 elderly folks who are worried about their heart and their hip. The movie's non-existent at that point.
Good. Anna, just say it. Just say what you want to say about Lorraine. Fuck Lorraine.
fuck Lorraine in this moment. And oh my gosh. And two, another foreshadowing thing. They're calling her church mouse this whole time. And I'll be damned if at the end of the movie, when she needs to shut the fuck up, she's just whining and doing that crying like, no, I hate you. Ah!
Oh my God.
And Maxine's trying to tell her, Lorraine, be quiet. And then she gets blown away by the shotgun.
Yeah.
And Howard at that moment goes, I told her to stay in a damn cellar.
Yeah.
That
breaks her fucking
shot
fingers
in her back was another one of those.
Yeah.
You just killed Jenna Ortega.
Jump.
Holy
That was
shit.
a jump.
Yeah.
That was a jump scare for sure.
Like I wasn't scared, but it definitely made me gasp.
It made you jump.
That's a little different than being actually scared, I suppose.
Yeah. So
it is, yeah.
My biggest problem with this movie is just the runtime. It didn't have to be
long.
It's almost 2 hours, Pete.
Is it?
It's an hour 45.
He's
I think
complaining
it
there
goes
was too much
fast.
porn in it.
I get porn and then
I think if there were
gore,
15 minutes cut somewhere.
Me and you, Pete.
I'm not. I think if there were 15 minutes trimmed somewhere, it'd have been a little bit more palatable for me. But I just think
fair.
I just think a
want to
long
take a little off the
runtime.
top, huh?
Yeah, just a tip.
Just a tip.
Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
Pete, shut up. God, is bleat coming out? What's happening right now?
It's approaching bleat time. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's acceptable for X.
Okay, all
Yes.
right. We'll allow it.
No, this movie is definitely super fun.
So that's your biggest problem, though, is just the runtime?
And well, I've already listed Jen or Mia Goth and
You don't
A24.
care for her, yeah.
That's fair.
I had a lot working against me, but I went into it like I always do. I will not be a negative Nancy because I already don't like what I'm about to watch. If I even haven't seen it, I'll give it a chance. But I just think the runtime is a little too long and the other variables but I just talked about a lot that I liked, you know what I mean? So it's just it was almost like a this for that with me.
Sure.
Okay.
And that's completely fine, dude. You know?
Yeah.
You didn't go into this like Nate does, negative Nate.
Well,
Wait, hold on.
Just give the man a break. This is not his month. I feel like Big D. I'm not comfortable calling you Big D.
You can. It's okay, Pete.
No, but yeah, I'm on your side with movies like I want me a 90-minute movie. I want me a 100-minute movie. I want me an 80-minute movie. This is old man Pete talking. 120 minutes and above is just like I got to invest some time. And
I'm right there with you.
We just did one on the Action podcast that was over 3 hours long. Oh God, it's my fault. I get it, but there's a lot of movies today, and this is old man Pete talking here, that don't need to be 2 hours long. I thought this one
what are the runtime
would have I think we would have lost something with this movie.
An hour and 44, I think.
If it hadn't been as long as it was.
Yeah, it's an hour 45.
Yeah, that's not terrible. Hour 45?
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
That's still a little too long. But all three of them are the same runtime at an hour 43.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I think Pearl
Get a binge
to keep the
is
consistency.
better. Pearl is the better story overall. And I think it holds your attention more, even though it's a slower story over a longer period of time. And then Maxine, man, I need to see Maxine again and give it another shot.
Yeah, maybe give it another try.
I'm selling it short, and maybe I missed something, so I think I need to see it again.
Yeah, Maxine's definitely it's kind of like across the board with everybody. They always say Maxine's like the weakest of the trilogy.
Well, one of them has to.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
Right. Well, should we get into our rating?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I feel like we touched on pretty much everything.
Pete, out of 5, what do you rate X, not Maxine? X.
Those are two very different movies. But
Very different.
I mean, like, oh man, X is damn near a perfect slasher. I'll give it a 5. Screw it.
Yes.
I think X is one of those screams that just whips its big old dick out and throws it around and just has a good old time and says, "Hey, if you want to have a good old time, come with me. We're going to have a good old time. Whether you have sex or not, you're just going to have a good old time." And X is a hoot. Please go see it.
Yes.
Little D?
I want to give it a 4 out of 5. I really do enjoy this movie, and I think this must have been like my second or third time seeing it, because I did see it in the theater, but I don't remember if I watched it again after. But there's a lot to enjoy about this. I feel like the writing is pretty solid. Like it's Ty West, and Ty West really knows how to write. Like he's always been like that. He just knows how to build characters and add like a lot of crazy things. And his final acts on his movies are always like batshit insane. There's always something crazy that's gonna happen. And you get that in here, and you know, there's like we were talking about earlier, a lot of foreshadowing and stuff like that. Like you kind of have to dig a little bit deeper to see it. So like definitely rewatchability. I think is always an important thing with movies, is to want to have the drive to go back and watch it again and be like, I definitely missed something, and realizing, yeah, I did. Like, it's a fun ass film. I think what we said it was $1 million, right, for the budget.
It's insane. Such a
like
low budget
for what they did, for like the effects that they were using, and just everything. The sets I thought were beautiful, like the house, seeing it all like fucked up and just run down, but the cabin looked pretty fucking nice, you know, like they kept up on that.
So
like there was like
right
very, you know, there's a lot of really cool contrasts that are in this film, and you know, youth versus being old and all that. There's so many different themes that go into this film, and there's something in there for everybody. Like, you know, Big D was saying, like, he doesn't like A24, but he found a lot of things in here that he really did enjoy. So I mean, just go into it with an open mind, and you're gonna have a blast.
Big D?
Look,
let's go. Let's go.
You guys talking to you guys about it tonight has vastly persuaded me on what I was actually going to rate this movie.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That's why we do this.
Yeah, and you know, and I have learned to, if the conversation I have about the movie is a ton of fun and I didn't really like the movie, I will factor that into my ratings. Until,
sure.
You know what I mean? So I originally was going to give this like a 2. Only because I gave you guys the fact, and I put that away. The factors I was upfront and honest about at the beginning of what I don't like already going into it, but looking past that. The kills were fucking gnarly in this. Mm-hmm. A lot of the characters, especially like Kid Cudi's character, they're very likable. You know, like I like Wayne a lot. I like Kid Cudi's character a lot. Like they're funny. Like
they're not bad people.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Which is one of those.
But Lorraine is. Fuck Lorraine. She's bad.
Fuck her.
Well, I mean, she did get fucked. So
literally, yeah. But I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Which means that I will recommend it to people if they haven't seen it, like me. So 3 out of 5 pearls. Anna, what about you?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a 5-er all day long.
Across the board?
Across the board.
It's 5 old people.
Yep.
5 old people, yeah.
And he also succeeded in making us think about that too, because we are enticed by seeing the young actors get naughty on screen. But once Pearl and Howard get up there and they, like, we're cheering them on, but at the same time, they're already wreaking havoc, and it's kind of gross. So we don't want to see it. But I think he kind of proved his point with that too. Like, you know, it's a good for her moment, but at the same time, we don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I think this is everything I want out of a slasher horror movie. I love the grainy grittiness of it, and how you can hear the cicadas when they go outside.
Yeah,
it's I like the one setting aspect, not even necessarily one room, but we're on the same farm, different aspects of it. There's so much to love. The cast is small, but every single one of them is likable. If we did trim the time down, I feel like we would miss out on that character building and getting to know them, which is what makes it sucky when they die, because it's like they all die in really gnarly ways. But like Pete said, they're not bad people. They're all really likable. A lot of people back then looked at people getting into the porn industry and working at nudie clubs as bad people. They're doing bad things, but we can clearly see they're not. They're good people. They're just trying to make a living.
Exactly.
Have some fun while doing it.
Hard working people. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that aspect too, but it's just everything about it. It's an Anna movie. Like when you think of like what kind of horror movies is Anna like, this is the prime one. Do I think Pearl is the better movie?
Probably.
Yes, but not to me. Like to me, I think X is the best one out of all of them.
So is Pearl the better movie, but X is your favorite?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So
that's not to say that X is poorly made. I just think it's it's a better movie.
Anna, I'll jump on that bandwagon.
Well, it's like the same deal.
Pearl is the better movie, but I like X better.
Well, it's the same deal as like Jurassic Park is a masterpiece, but I love The Lost World.
Fair.
The Lost World is my favorite, but the first one's the best one. I get where you're coming from. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Hell yeah.
Well, that does it for X, kicking off our Bloody February month.
Are we done?
We are done.
Oh.
It's short, sweet, and to the point over here.
Yeah, no dissect that film over here.
Exactly. Excuse me, I just burped a little louder than I anticipated.
I had recording burps last week.
Bring it on.
Yeah, you did.
And I
but
want
it's
to hear
also
full frontal burp. Give me it.
But it's also another themed month going on at Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies. Pete, do you want to tell us what's going on over there this month? He's bathing in Nate's tears. That's what's happening.
I am showering in Nate's tears. God bless him. Give Me Back My Podcast is doing the month of Pete, and this is my third year, I think, doing them, and this year is no exception. It's been marvelous so far. I don't know. I hate to. No, I'm just going to tell everybody what's going on. So, Hard Ticket to Hawaii is the first movie. It is a Andy Sedaris film that is just boobs and guns and explosions. And
I had a lot of fun with it.
And a giant snake, and it's not a penis reference. It's literally a giant snake. It's a cancer snake.
Yeah.
And then, oh shit, now I'm forgetting what we did. Anna.
Cruel Jaws.
Cruel Jaws. Yeah, the Italian Jaws knockoff with Timo Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
And
that'll be out. That'll be out tomorrow.
Oh my
multiple times.
Yep. Yeah. I'm really struggling here.
And then RRR.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Bleat is coming out, Anna. We gotta wrap it up with Bleat.
We gotta wrap it up. So RRR, which is a Bollywood film full of musicals and gigantic colors. Like, I mean, I'm not kidding. Gigantic colors.
Sure.
And it's now that was a 3-hour movie. Approach at your own caution, but it's an amazing action film from Bollywood. And then our last one, we're going to do it in a few days. It's called The Stepfather. It's a slasher from the 80s. And
great movie.
It's got 2 sequels that I haven't seen yet. And I hope to watch them all. Oh, is there a remake?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's like a stepmother movie too. Like there's like a,
I will try to watch them all before we record next Monday. But Stepfather, I think it's an underrated slasher. It's slow in the first 30 minutes, but it snowballs. It's at the top of the hill, and at the end of the movie, you're like, Jesus Christ. So that's what's happening over on Give Me Back My Action Horror Movies.
Hell yeah, man.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you for
Fellas?
reminding me of all the films that I forgot already.
I got you, Pete. I got you back.
Degenerates.
Peas in a pod.
Fellas, what do we got going on over here?
Yeah.
Way too much. You want to tell them what's going on there, dude? Because we have so much shit that I forget half of it.
So we had just dropped our 50th Screenbox Essential episode, which was pretty fucking big. Other than that, we have a new Tales from the Barrens cooking up that will drop this Friday coming up. Tales from the Baron, Pete, if you're not familiar, we take 3 short films and make an anthology out of it. So we each describe one. It's pretty fucking tight.
Super fun.
Anna made a brand new best friend with the last episode we did.
Beth Park.
Beth Park.
Oh yeah.
That's her fish wife.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot cooking up over here. Yellow Jackets should be starting up soon, so we'll be getting a play-by-play episode over on Patreon with that. So
Yellow Jackets is so good.
And a new shirt design.
I forgot. There's a brand new shirt design. Derek Eyeball Suit cooked it up, man, and it's beautiful. We've posted it on the socials, so you guys have seen it by now. Hopefully, by the time this drops, I'll be placing an order for some transfers.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited. Yeah, there's just so much going on over here. It's like endless amount of fun over at the Baron's Hideout. Looking back like a year ago and just seeing how slow the show was and now just seeing how much life is in it it brings us so much joy. And man, you guys over on Patreon, you're eating good every single week. You're eating, and you're gonna be eating even better now when Anna starts putting out her recaps of all the episodes.
When Anna starts putting out, huh?
Pete.
There's just so much good shit, and go support everybody that comes on here. Go support Give Me Back My Action horror movies, and check out Pete and the gang. And Anna's over there too. So if you want more Anna and Pete, go right over there for the days that we're not uploading. Because oh boy, and same with Dustin over here. He's got Flicks and Friends and B Action. There's just so much shit going on, and all areas of this show.
We all live on the same
families.
Kind of.
All
the burbs.
Yeah, we're all in the same Give Me Back My Burbs.
The burbs are a cul-de-sac.
Yeah. But Anna, is there anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I think that's about it.
All right. So I guess we'll see everybody on the next one. And all the links for all the shows will be down below. And all the other posts that we just talked about will be down there as well. And we'll see everybody on the next one.
Later.
Bye.
So when is Anna putting out again?